Welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance. We were just having a date with a girl here, and the main mission is still searching for the bandits who took our sword. Reese was the one we had a date with.
wish I was able to swim.
Well, I never. The pig turns up willingly for the slaughter.
Hey! All of you, gather here! Raise the alarm! To arms! Get over here!
Over here! Where is everyone? Quick! Go ahead and gather your strength. Come here.
Is that all you've got?
Ah!
What's the matter?
No more foot already.
Yeah, well, I think their level is still too high, but searching for the nightingales would still take too much time anyway, I think, so I'm heading for another mission now. Could take ages to find those birds.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
Better not going any further. I might drown.
Aren't you the cur that owes Peshek money? Until you pay up, you'd best stay away from every mill.
Jesus Christ be praised.
What's going on here?
We caught a human and locked him up in the barn.
How did you manage to catch him? It's not like I underestimate you, but I can only assume he was armed.
Aye, he was. But he had a bit of bad luck. I went for water in the morning, and all of a sudden I saw a man on a horse riding through the ford. Halfway down the ford, the horse got wild and threw him into the water. I waded in and pulled him up on the shore. And then I realized he was a human. Luckily for me, he'd hit his head and was out cold. So I dragged him into the bar.
And what plans do you have for him?
What do I know? The miller told me to guard him. You'll have to ask him what he's got in mind.
All right, I'll ask him. Interesting.
What do you want, dung breath? Don't think you can fuck with a miller and get away with it. We stick together, and until you pay Peshek what you owe, there's a black mark on you.
It's too deep here.
My respects to you.
Any chance of some work?
Well, come to think, there is one rather delicate matter to attend to. A while ago, a holy man came by here. He said he'd come from the Holy Land, and he was selling various relics he'd collected on his travels to pay his way.
I see.
Well, I heard he had some fragments of a sacred sword that once belonged to the fabled Czech Queen of Sheba. But by the time he reached me, he had no pieces left of the sword. All he had was some dubious wares, splinters from our Lord's cross, thorns from the crown, nothing of interest to me.
And where did the pieces of the sword go?
He sold them off to swordsmiths and blacksmiths hereabouts. They just keep them lying around at home for good luck. If I had them, I'd forge them back into a sword. Can you even imagine what power it would command? If you could get me all the pieces of the sword, I'd repay you very handsomely.
Are you sure the Queen of Sheba's a Czech queen?
Who else would she be? Have you not heard of her? Our some priest. She's in the Bible.
Uh-huh. Isn't it a bit strange that some pilgrim would have something so valuable?
Are you suggesting he might have been lying? Well, people aren't to be trusted, but this is nothing to joke about. God would smite him in a flash if he made light of holy relics that way.
What kind of power did this sword have?
What do you think? It brought its bearer good luck in combat and protection from enemies.
Where can I find the powers?
Like I said, the smith hereabouts bought them from him. They say the largest piece is with the rat-eyed swordsmith. The bastard probably won't want to sell. But if you manage to swipe it somehow...
I could do with a sword like that. What if you sold it to me?
Well, everything has its price. But this one would be expensive. Getting hold of the bits is one thing. Forging them back together is quite another. That tinkerer from Ratite couldn't manage it.
Well, it does sound very interesting. I'll ask them and see what I can do.
Excellent. You'll see you won't regret it. I'll pay you well.
About that sword.
Good day to you. What do you need?
Are there any problems around here I might be able to help with?
Well, depends what you're willing to do. Of course, it's your own Skalitz folk need the most help. There's some of them at the monastery. I talked to Johanka a few times. She's working her fingers to the bone taking care of the injured ones there. I'm sure she'd welcome some good Samaritan who'd lighten her load. And there's another thing. You're from Skalitz, ain't you? You must know Fritz and Matthew, then. Them fellows need to learn some manners. They've been making mischief and folk are getting fed up with them. And that's not all. There was one troublemaker around here not long ago. We dealt with him. He was selling some relics he claimed were miraculous. But it was nothing but worthless trinkets. The villagers sent the bloody swindler packing so fast you couldn't see his heels for dust. All the way to Ledechko, I believe. I reckon he won't last long there either. That's all I can think of.
I know you. I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you from?
What?
Of course, my dream. You were in a boat made of bone, and I put a crown of thorns on your head.
All right. Tell me about this dream of yours.
That dream. Yes, that dream has come true.
Coming?
I dreamt that a young man would become my apprentice. My own pupil in the trade of miracles.
Oh, then I'm in luck.
On the contrary, I'm the lucky one. What's your name, young man?
Henry.
Henry. A powerful name. So, Henry, are you ready to become my apprentice?
First, tell me, who are you, and what do you do?
Me? I am an unworthy, low, and miserable servant of Providence. Scholar or merchant, believer or heathen, I wander the world without home or family, with only my wagon, offering miracles to those that need them. That's who I am. Without home or kin, I wander this world with my wagon, providing the miracles that people need. Ointments, relics, aromatic herbs, rare spices, talismans and amulets for luck. All these things I have.
One ale over here, please.
What exactly does it entail, becoming your apprentice?
A lot of work and strenuous labor. Knowledge of medicine, theology, and white magic. You have to study the great works of the ancients and devote your time to understanding your fellow men, listening to them, and learn to read their souls.
Nothing to it.
That's why God has sent you.
There,
So what do you say?
satisfied?
All right, I'll be your apprentice.
Wonderful! Oh, glorious day! I have a successor in my work.
So, how do you plan to start training me?
With a test of your practical skills.
Oh,
I have my eye on 3 rare objects of great value. But sadly, they're a little difficult to obtain.
just so we're clear, I'm not stealing anything for you.
Who said anything about stealing?
You said these are valuable things you're after. I don't suppose you can just pick them up anywhere.
Valuable for me because I know their power and strength. For an ordinary mortal, they barely mean anything.
Oh. Well, that's fine then.
First, I need a tooth of Saint Procopius. Then I'll need a branch from a topping out hung on a church. And finally, a talisman for luck from a passionate player.
Bloody hell, that's a lot. All right, one thing at a time. This topping out, what's that?
You're not a carpenter, it seems.
No, I'm a blacksmith.
I see. Well, a topping out is a decorated spruce or a conifer tree hung on top of the roof of a new house to bring good fortune and God's blessing.
Well, then all we need to do is break off a branch somewhere, buy a few ribbons, and we've got our own homemade topping out right there.
You don't understand, young man. The topping out was sanctified by a priest, and it hangs on the highest church far and wide. You can't just replace it with a decorated branch.
Fair enough. That topping off is hung pretty high, isn't it?
Naturally. It hangs on the rooftop according to tradition, and the church is tall.
And how am I supposed to get it down?
Damned if I know. But they had to get it up there somehow, didn't they?
Very well, I'll get it. About that tooth, it's going to be slightly more complicated, isn't it?
I know. Yes, it would be very difficult to gain such a rare relic, of course. That's why I have an alternative solution.
I'm listening.
A layman named Procopius lives by the monastery, and it just so happens, thanks to my intricate medical knowledge, that I found out he has a sick tooth.
How did you find out he has a sore tooth?
As it happens, he told me at the tavern. But that's not important.
And how am I supposed to get the tooth?
I haven't the faintest idea. You'll have to think of something. But maybe you'll be able to persuade him to let the blacksmith pull it.
Wouldn't that be swindling people?
It is, and it isn't. If I sell that tooth as the tooth of Saint Procopius, then it certainly is deceitful. But if I sell it as a tooth from Procopius of Sasau, then I'm cheating nobody.
Does it really matter whose tooth I bring, then?
Of course it does. The name Procopius in this holy land is shrouded with mystical powers. Sometimes I might play a trivial trick on someone, but I assure you, I'm no swindler.
Fine. I'll get it from him.
Wonderful.
This player's talisman. Where am I supposed to find it?
I actually have a specific one in mind. Here at the inn, there's a dice player who always has a cat's paw with him. That's supposed to bring him luck.
A cat's paw? I thought players bring along a rabbit's paw for luck.
I thought so too. But this man is winning one game after another, so cats are clearly even more powerful than rabbits.
Oh. How am I supposed to get the talisman from him?
I haven't a clue. It won't be easy, but I'm sure you'll find a way.
We'll see. Very well. I'll get you the paw. I'll get looking for those things then.
Excellent! You do that, my journeyman. Good luck.
About those other things you wanted from me. I'll get looking.
Excellent!
Would you teach me more about alchemy?
Certainly.
I'd like to practice the basics.
All right, but it'll cost you. Now, pay close attention. Good day to you.
You must be that lucky fellow everyone's talking about.
Lady Luck has been good to me lately, true enough. But that can change quicker than you know.
People say that you get help from a lucky charm.
Is that not allowed?
No, it is. It just interests me, that's all.
Why?
I could use a paw like that myself.
Then go to the knacker. I'm sure he'll get you one.
Hand over that cat paw.
Or what?
Or I'm gonna start breaking some limbs. And they won't belong to a cat.
You know what? Go and yell at someone else, you mongrel.
About that talisman of yours.
What about it?
I'd like to try that luck of yours. Let's play for your talisman.
As you wish. My talisman against your groschen.
You know what? I changed my mind. I'll buy it from you.
You want to buy my cat paw? You're joking.
No, I'm not. I'll buy it. How much do you want for it?
I've only got 2 hands.
You think it's too much? Well, luck costs something.
What the hell?
Jesus, not as shallow as it looks.
Good health to you.
What the hell?
My respects to you.
The Lady of Talmberg sent me. She wants me to find out why the crown's been delayed.
Through no fault of ours, I can tell you that. We had a large stone ordered for mounting on the crown, a beautiful Moldavite from South Bohemia that we had cut and polished in Prague. But, well, in short, the good merchant, Martin Wieseck, who was supposed to bring it from Prague, got lost along the way. It's like the ground swallowed him up.
Well, Lady Stephanie won't be happy.
Look, we've got something else here we can replace the stone with, but I'm sure even you can see it's not worthy of a noble wedding, and definitely not worthy of our fine craftsmanship. Oh, if I only had someone who'd try to find the Moldavite.
Why don't you just ask me? Of course I'll try to find the stone. Just tell me where the fellow was seen last.
That fellow, as you call him, the esteemed merchant, Martin Vizek, was last seen riding alongside the Sasau River, passing by the footbridge over the ford, to the west of here. Evidently, he never made it to Sasau town.
Well, I'll look for him, but he could be far over the mountains by now. Or under the ground.
What the hell?
Leave me be. I want to sleep.
Why are you waking me? Leave me.
Henry!
I'm glad to see you.
Matthew! Fritz! You're alive!
Of course we're alive.
You can't get rid of us that easily.
I'm almost surprised how happy I am to see the pair of you are all right.
We are now, but we barely made it.
Yeah, it was hard. Fritz ran like a little girl.
Really?
Bollocks! Bloody joker.
So that's what happened to you.
They gave me a pretty good thrashing as well. It was only in Rat-Eye that I got back in my right mind.
You're not doing too well either, are you?
Right now, I'm a squire for Sir Radzig.
I see you've worked your way up.
And how are you two getting by?
It's shit.
You said it. We're still chopped off to bits. Owe the monastery a bundle. And there's no work here.
Not for anyone with more than half a grain, anyway.
Well, you two and work never got along. But don't tell me that they're not in need of carpenters. They're reconstructing the monastery.
They don't want us there.
And there's nothing else around here.
Hey, you wouldn't happen to know of anything?
It will really help us out right now.
Well, I can ask around, but I'm not promising anything.
Thanks, Henry.
We'll pay off the debt. Don't you worry.
What other neighbours of ours made it?
Your hunker's in the monastery. That girl really helped us out. That's about all we know. When we ran for it, we helped Teresa. But who knows where she is now? We got separated.
I owe my life to Teresa. She hauled me unconscious to the mill in Rat-Eye and nursed me back to health.
I'm glad she survived. Since you know her so well, why not try asking her if she knows about any work?
And where would they hire you to?
Well, we were carpenters in the mines, so wherever they work with wood, I suppose. Forget about construction. After Skalitz, no one will be building for a long time. Just here in Sassau, and they don't want us here. The best chance we have is to work at a mill. People always have to eat. Ideally, we're looking for a job that pays a lot and doesn't require much work.
What is it?
question. I'm just cold enough to freeze the balls off a bear. Dead. What do you do? Hey! What's the matter? Oh, come on! Here! Raise the alarm!